Hey, thanks so much for clicking on this video today. Before we jump into the video, make sure to click that like button on this video. It's very helpful to our page. And make sure, if you want to see more content just like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more. But today we're going to be taking a look at Moses and the Red Sea and the evidence that's been found in the Red Sea to prove that the story actually took place of the parting of the Red Sea. Let's take a look.
Of the Red Sea. The crossing of the Red Sea happened several days afterward, so they couldn't have crossed the Gulf of Suez finger of the Red Sea because it is just 20 miles from Goshen. Now Moses would have led the nation of Israel on the main trade route that went from Egypt to Arabia and Midian. However, just before arriving at the northern tip of the Aqaba finger of the Red Sea, God redirected their path so that he might display his glory to Israel, Egypt, and the surrounding nations. Exodus 14:1 provides the details. It says, "Now the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Tell the sons of Israel to turn back and camp in front of Pi Hatheroth, between Migdol and the sea. You shall camp in front of Baal Zephon, opposite it, by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the sons of Israel, They are wandering aimlessly in the land, the wilderness has shut them in, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will chase after them. And I will be honored through Pharaoh and all his army, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord."
That's crazy.
And they did so. This explains why they left the main travel route and arrived at the Nuweiba beach of the Aqaba finger of the Red Sea. There has also been found in the Gulf of Aqaba finger of the Red Sea, in the area of Nuweiba port, amazing evidence of coral growth on objects that look like old chariot wheels, axles, and so forth. It has been found on the shore across from Nuweiba port, on the Saudi Arabian side, these same figures. So you can see in this video here, this amazing coral figures that look like axles, that look like chariot wheels, and they're just all strewn out as you go from Nuweiba out into the Red Sea, and then on the shore coming up out of the Red Sea on the Saudi Arabian side as well. Now, you should know that coral doesn't grow in sandy areas. It must have rock or something solid to grow on. And this area where they crossed is just pure sand. So these figures are tremendous evidence of chariot wheels that would have come off from the Egyptians as they pursued the Israelites. The area where the Israelites would have camped is large and can accommodate 3 million people. So this Nuweiba port here that you can see is huge, and it would easily have accommodated 3 million people. Now, interestingly, the sea in this area, the ocean floor of this part, gradually goes down and then gradually goes up. Just north and south of this area are deep crevices, deep ravines in the ocean floor where the Israelites could not have crossed. So at the Aqaba finger of the Red Sea, there's this perfect spot where it's sandy, goes down gradually, goes up gradually, but it goes down almost a half of a mile down in the ocean. Now, Scripture continually refers to the crossing where the Israelites crossed as the Israelites going down into mighty waters. So this term, mighty waters, is used frequently in Scripture to talk about the crossing where they went into the water. Let's look at a couple of these passages which are staggering. In Exodus 14 it says, "But the sons of Israel walked on dry land through the midst of the sea, and the waters were like a wall to them on their right and on their left." Now Isaiah 51 says, "Was it not you who dried up the sea, the waters of the great deep?" The great deep, the water is very shallow, close to Goshen on the Suez Canal side of the Red Sea. Very shallow, marshes. Here it is deep, so it fits the text. You led them through the waters of the great deep. Great. Focus on that word, great deep. Who made the depths of the sea a pathway. The depths We're talking deep down in the ocean, the depths of the sea as a pathway for the redeemed to cross over. Now, the lake beds and marshes by Egypt were certainly not waters of the great deep. They were very shallow marshes. Also, Solomon referred to the Gulf of Aqaba here as the Red Sea in 1 Kings. So he talks about his ships coming here, and he calls this the Red Sea. So this is not a new term. It's a biblical term, this Aqaba, finger of the Red Sea. Now, when the Israelites came to the Red Sea at the location of Nuweiba, they were certainly hemmed in, as Scripture says.
Yeah.
Scripture says that they were hemmed
true.
in. It says in Exodus 14.
Wow, incredible to be able to listen to that video and to watch, the incredible evidence behind this story of Moses. Sometimes I think it's cool to watch things like this and also to see the proven things of these stories, because sometimes as a kid, you hear the story of Moses, the parting of the Red Sea, David slaying the giant Goliath, and you hear these crazy stories in the Bible and you're like, is this really taking place? Did Jonah really get swallowed by a whale? You got stories of Joseph and having dreams, being thrown into the pit by his brothers, and like all these crazy stories. But just looking at the geographical evidence of where all of these things took place at in the Bible, you can study and learn where these people went, where they were, where God led them. God led the people by day, right, by a cloud. He led the Israelites out of Exodus, right? He led them out of this slavery by day by a cloud, and by night he was leading them by a pillar of fire and a pillar of the cloud, right? And so he was leading them in a certain way to only reveal his glory, right? And they, like at the end of the video, he was talking about that they were pinned in and they had nowhere to go, and they had the Egyptians right behind them, after them, ready to kill them. And God only revealed his glory, showing us what it was like to go from death to life. Just as in the Old Testament, it shows how, the Israelites were on one side of this beach, right? And walking across the Red Sea, right? And they get to the other side, and as they get to the other side, the water goes down and kills all of the Egyptians, and it destroys the enemy. And it shows the importance of, even now, today, how people give our life to Jesus. We go from death to life. We go from bondage to life, right? We go from bondage to freedom. We go from being in our sin to being free, right? And the Israelites, yes, was it easy after that? Absolutely not. They walked into the wilderness. They were having to have faith that God was with them. But let me be honest, if that happened right in front of me and I watched the Red Sea part and there were walls of water on my left and right, and I just got led by a cloud, right, and a pillar of fire at night, I would probably have some faith that God's with me. But this just goes to show that there's times where God has blessed us and showed us his glory and showed this, that he's with us, but yet we still doubt God. So I just want to encourage you today that God is with you, and that it is okay to sometimes doubt, but to understand that it is about faith, not just in the hard times, but in the good times. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and we'll see you on the next one.